Welcome to another video presented by Raven Expeditions. Please subscribe to my channel and share this video to support my work. Travelers to Giza are often enthralled by the main three pyramids on the Giza plateau and the Great Sphinx, and rightly so. These structures dominate the plateau and exude an aura of grandeur, captivating all who lay eyes upon them. However, the Giza Plateau doesn't include merely the main three pyramids and their temples, the satellite pyramids, and the Great Sphinx. The area is massive, measuring over 1.6 by 1.9 kilometers. It is practically impossible to explore in one day, or rather in the few hours afforded to the average tourist when they visit the plateau. The Giza complex also hosts the workers' village, demonstrating the site's huge importance throughout history. It further has many tombs and a network of tunnels, several of which are still unexplored to this day. In fact, the name of Giza in antiquity was Rostau, which translates into the mouth of the passages, hence intimating that there is a subterranean world beneath the plateau. During my 2022 trip to Egypt, I ventured beyond the confines of the main attractions and explored some of the surrounding area. There I had the place almost all to myself, since I hardly met anyone, only the odd person whose curiosity steered them in that direction away from the throngs of tourists crowding the central area of the plateau. I wanted to visit the tomb of Queen Khentkaus I, who lived towards the end of the 4th dynasty in the Old Kingdom. According to historian Salim Hassan, Khentkaus I was Pharaoh Menkaura's daughter, and she inherited the throne from her husband and half-brother Pharaoh Shepseskaf. Following the death of her husband, she married one of the priests, Uzerkaf, who became the first pharaoh of the 5th dynasty. Despite her tomb's gated entrance, I still managed to film some of its interior. Unfortunately, the place is in shambles and is not properly looked after. In very close proximity is the outcrop of limestone often called the Second Sphinx. This was also on my to-do list. One wonders whether this is really the Second Sphinx, or whether it's simply a yardang. It sure looks like a sphinx, especially when looking at it from behind. An immediate observation about it is that despite the heavy erosion, it's not as badly eroded as the Great Sphinx. What's also interesting is that it has several chambers in its interior, now only seen from the outside since they are gated off and inaccessible to us. If this can be deemed a second sphinx, is it then possible to speculate that the Great Sphinx also has chambers inside? This theory is surely plausible, especially considering the openings that are clearly visible to us on the Great Sphinx itself, particularly the one at the rear and the other on the top of its head. Meanwhile, there has been much talk about the Hall of Records beneath its left paw, following the prophecies of the sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce. If we look closely, even above ground we can still find hidden gems in plain sight, which often go unnoticed. It's frequently the case that people flock to the pyramids and the Great Sphinx, ignoring altogether the remainder of the plateau. Admittedly though, as I've observed earlier, the average tourist has hardly any time to explore the site any further, since the time allocated to the plateau is restricted, limiting their visit to only its main attractions. Another conspicuous feature on the site is the many shafts clearly visible on the ground. The plateau is littered with them, such as the Osiris shaft that is situated underneath the causeway of Khafra's pyramid. Most shafts are full of rubbish and debris and haven't even been excavated yet. These are clear evidence that there must be a network of tunnels and passages under the plateau, despite several claims from the establishment attesting otherwise. These shafts confirm even further that the area's ancient name Rostau must have reflected this tunnel system. With us yet to discover much more about this site and its purpose and antiquity, particularly its subterranean world. Was this underground network functional, ceremonial, or both? Or was it something else altogether? As can be easily seen in the video, most of the area is simply neglected and full of trash, nor are there any signs with some information about the tombs, mastabas and structures. They are simply left there, ignored, almost to rot away by the sands of time. On my next trip to Egypt, I intend to explore further and film more isolated areas on the Giza Plateau in order to share them with you.